Hey, welcome back. So last video I made a comment about using Yorkshire grit, me never using Yorkshire grit. Ross Ho sent me a little formula on how to make my own, sort of. So what I got, 2 pin blanks glued up. Holy moly. They're both the same, stabilized walnut, spalted walnut. And we're going to use the homemade Yorkshire grit, and we're going to do the micro mesh, my normal finish. Using the same wood should give us a pretty good, kids are home, pretty good comparison on what's what. So let's see what happens. Alright, so you've seen me turn pins before. This isn't what this video is about. So we're gonna knock these out real quick. We'll come back when it's time to finish this. On the first one, I'm going to use the homemade Yorkshire grit. Probably can't call it Yorkshire grit. I'll get in trouble. So we're going to use the homemade polishing compound, sort of like, I guess, sort of like Yorkshire grit. I don't know. We're going to crank the speed up there about 2,000-ish and get to work. Alright, looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and sand this down a little bit. I'll use some 400. Sand it down. Even though it is stabilized, I am going to go ahead and put some thin CA on there just to keep it fair, I guess. So actually I changed my mind. I've seen a lot. Well, today it seems like I've seen a lot on Facebook about using BOL and CA as a finish. So we're going to do one with the homemade polish, and then we're going to do one with the BOL. CA finish. And see how they come out. So I sanded that with 400. I'll go ahead and move up to 600, and then we'll bust out this little polish. All right, so that's some 600. I'll zoom in, and then we'll apply the wax Yorkshire style thing. Well, it does get just a really nice finish. I mean, it's just nice and smooth, and looks like it's filled some of those pores. It's kind of a matte finish. It's not as glossy as I would as you get from, you know, a CA, but a real nice finish. All right, let's turn the other one and put some BOL CA finish on there. I'll use this matte gold looking. That should look pretty good with that matte finish. Pen number 2. So this one I'm doing like I normally do. The color on this blank is a lot better already than the other blank. So I got it sanded up to 600. I just used 600 dry real quick, and then I put on my first coat of thin CA. So I'm gonna give that a few minutes. I mean, it's dry now, but I like to give it, you know, just a few minutes in between. But then again, I'm gonna finish this like I normally finish pens, and see which one we like better. Alright, so I got about 5 coats of CA on here. Now we're gonna finish it like I normally would, with the micro mesh. So definitely a much shinier, and it kind of seems like it's much more defined in the grain. Now granted, that grain's a lot more wild than this, but it kind of just dulled it a lot. Forgot I was going to use BOL. I'll get another one set up. I'll put gunmetal gray on this one and use silver or chrome on the other one. Alright, so this is going to be the BOL. And CA finish. Now what I've seen online is first you soak her down with the BOL. And then on the same rag, in the same spot, oh, that's the wrong one. Make a good little puddle. And then kick it on there nice. Let's do a couple more little coats and see. Pretty good amount of pressure. It gets dull. It goes from shiny to dull and then back to shiny. So that's That's kind of cool. But it's soaking up into the pores quite a bit. So I don't know if the BOL is affecting the CA. Maybe I watched the wrong video on it. Yeah, it's coming right off of there. That was just straight CA glue. I'm gonna give that a few minutes to set up and see what happens. Alright, so this is tomorrow. This is the BOL and CA finish. You know, it did give it a little color, but not a lot. The finish alone isn't great. It's probably hard to tell on this what the BOL actually did, but I did 4 coats of the BOL and the CA, and it's not giving any kind of shine, really. Still very porousy, so I don't really like that right now. Needs a little work. So since I don't like that finish at all, I did modify the wax stone thing. So we're gonna try to put some of this on here and see what the combination does. I added more oil. The other one just looked a lot real waxy. We'll look at them here in a minute. But I showed the wife. She said it kind of makes you feel like you wanna rub it off. There's nothing, you know, it doesn't transfer to your skin, but you kind of, you feel like there's something on there, you know what I mean? I mean, it does make it ultra smooth. It just gives it kind of a waxy appearance. I don't know, we'll have to play around with that. Now, I was using local beeswax. That wasn't filtered or anything, so I mean, you know, it was a little darker than normal. And it gave the whole concoction kind of a weird color. And the rot stone I was using is white, so white all turned out green. I don't really know, but it has potential. I think they all have potential. Let's get this built and then we'll look at them together. Alright, so they're all 3 built. The judge is not home yet from work, so as soon as she gets home this morning, we'll, provided she's in a good mood, of course, we'll let her pick the finish she likes the best. And hopefully she'll be able to elaborate on why she likes that finish the best, or what she doesn't like about the others. Now, they're all gonna need, I mean, first time using the BOL or the homemade wax stuff, so I mean, that needs work, need to figure out how to do it. So if you know any tips and tricks on what I did wrong or how I'm supposed to do it, then let me know. Other than that, we're just gonna have some coffee, clean up a little bit, and wait for the judge to come home. Being judged in the morning. Married life. Alright, since I got most everything cleaned up already, and I found this chunk of resin and sweet gum balls, we're gonna turn this and then try the homemade stuff on it. Now this is a blank that my daughter wanted to turn, but it's been sitting on their lathe for about 8 months. So I can tell you what's gonna happen is, as soon as I get this turned and put over there in the bag, I'm gonna get yelled at. Just so we all know. With that said, let's do some turning then. Alright, the judge just pulled up. Let's see if she'll look at them for us. Hi, honey. Need you to judge the pen finishes.
Pen finishes?
How's your day?
It's fine. Stop it. So.
Okay, so here are the different finishes. Pick the one you like the best and explain why you don't like the other ones as much. Just the finish, not the pen itself.
I know. How about how it feels?
Yeah, just all
Okay,
of it,
okay.
just in general.
Well, okay, I like the shininess of that one, but it absolutely feels like plastic. It's that smooth. And I like that one. It's not as, I don't know. You can tell it's wood, but it feels like a really tight, hard wood. A tight grain wood. Like you don't feel, you see all this figure, but you don't feel it like you would normally. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And then this one's my favorite because it does have that, it's smooth but you can feel the wood. So it kind of goes back to probably what you've always done, a little smoother, maybe a little smoother. But I prefer having that sense of it being something alive that has pores and cells and...
Interesting. And the first one you looked at, that one, it was off camera.
Oh, was it? Did they hear me?
Probably. I don't know.
So it's just it's so smooth and it feels like plastic. I don't know. It's a really cool grain. I don't know. You might could go, that's plastic.
So overall, your favorite finish?
It's the least finished or least altered. Maybe finished isn't the right word. Doesn't mean you worked less on that than these, but.
Huh. All right.
You didn't think I would say that?
This is what I normally do. She doesn't like the plasticky. That's just straight CA. Micro mesh. Well, she doesn't not like the plastic. It feels plastic. So I guess that was your second, huh? And that was the homemade Yorkshire grit type stuff. And then this is the BOL. CA with the homemade Yorkshire grit on top, but no micro mesh. Huh.
I don't know.
So interesting.
You should have made a pen and pencil set out of those two.
I don't have a pencil set.
Well, something, and to say they came out the same piece of wood.
Well, all three of them did.
Seriously?
Seriously.
What is that?
It's malted walnut.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so here you go. Those are Those are what they are. And her least favorite is what I normally do. Go figure. Alright, so there it is. You decide. Cool. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Oh! Son of a biscuit eater. Well, that one's done. So what do you do in that situation? Alright, so brass is cleaned up and ready to go on to the next one.